Good afternoon, children of class 11th. For some time we had not been studying, but today we would be looking at the fourth part, and continuing with the first chapter, Diversity of Living World. The last time, if you remember, we studied about the composition of living beings according to molecular basis, etc. With the study of molecules like macro molecules and micromolecules. Today we shall concentrate on a number of things like life as an expression of energy changes and life as an expression of exchange of matter. We will concentrate on what is open system, what is closed system, what is steady state, and what is hemostasis. We will concentrate on these. Now let us take them one by one and understand. Life as an expression of energy changes. We know that all matter, whether living or non-living, contains energy. Now what is energy, children? Energy is the capacity to do work. It is the power to do work. In biology, energy is used to counter or oppose natural physical tendencies. Okay, in biology, energy is used to counter, that means विरोध करती है वो किसका, जो natural physical obstacles बीच में आते हैं उसका biological energy विरोध करती है. So in biology, energy is used to counter or oppose natural physical tendencies. Another aspect we'll see of life as an expression of energy changes is that highly complex organization of living systems require constant supply of ordered energy for development and maintenance. Like we see, we are large organisms. We need all the time energy sources, different food sources, water, so that we grow. We become bigger, taller, and we grow. And we have to maintain our body also. So we need a rich energy source. Then we see that this source of energy is the sun. The main source of energy we all know is the sun. Green plants initially trap energy of the sun. They convert solar energy to chemical energy. Now let us look at this diagram. We see that the light energy is received from the sun, and the plants, the green plants, they convert the solar energy to chemical energy. The chemical energy is stored in the bonds of organic substances such as glucose. It is stored. Then we also see in the next hierarchy point that this energy moves through the living world by a food chain, and each organism in the chain transforms the energy contained in its meal or food and creates a store of chemical energy. Now this energy undergoes continuous transformations at the cellular and the subcellular levels. Energy transformation from one form to another increases disorder or entropy of the energy. Okay, now let us look here. The energy which is trapped here in plants in the form of adenosine triphosphate molecules, we see that this energy is then bifurcated in various ways in the environment. Like the ATP energy can be given out to us in the form of electrical energy, so as to run nerve impulses, conduction of impulses through nerves. Then we see that energy can also be utilized as mechanical energy for muscle contraction, move of cilia in unicellular organisms, like paramecium. Then we see that energy trapped in the form of ATP molecules is also given out as heat energy, which gives warmth to our body during cold weather. Then we see that the energy that is trapped in the form of ATP molecules is also given out as potential energy, which is used to transform other molecules for growth and development. Then we also see that bioluminescence is also one of the aspects that is shown by animals in the form of light energy. We see microorganisms like bacteria, fungus, and also bigger insects like fireflies. They all show bioluminescence. Now we see that all these organisms or living systems, they use energy, and if this energy is continuously being used and this energy is continuously lost, then the organism can die. Okay, children, so let us come back to the 6th point here of energy expression and energy changes. Due to disorder, some of the energy capacity to perform useful work is lost from organism system in each conversion. Now here we will look at this diagram. The radiant energy of the sun is received, and this energy is transformed into chemical energy here by the green leafy plants through photosynthesis. And between every conversion of energy, we see there is a heat loss. Energy is lost in the form of heat. Likewise, the chemical energy of the green plants is stored in the form of coal under the earth's crust. Coal is found, and when this energy transforms into this chemical energy, then again heat energy is lost in between. Then we see that we have chemical energy changing into thermal energy when we burn coal to get power from power plants. And again we see some energy in the form of heat is lost. Then again we transform thermal energy into mechanical energy. We see that steam, it drives turbine engines, and again some energy in the form of heat is lost. Then from mechanical energy we can convert it to electrical energy through generators, and we see that the electrical energy is can be again converted into radiant energy like that of the table lamp. So at every energy conversion, energy transformation takes place, and we see that a certain amount of energy is lost. So when we lose energy, then new supplies of ordered energy is a must to replace the lost energy. There are various forms of energies that we heard about right now. It exists in various forms like heat energy, which is rapid internal movements of liquids and gaseous molecules. When molecules move fast, randomly hitting each other, then they increase heat energy. Then we see mechanical energy. Energy found in motion of the bodies is mechanical energy, like that of car engines moving. Then we see chemical energy contained in bonds that hold atoms together within molecules, that we saw in the form of coal, or we saw in the form of plants storing energy from the sun through photosynthesis, and this is chemical energy. Then we come to radiant energy. Radiant energy we know is derived from the sun, and electrical energy, which is used in generators, etc. Whenever work is done, energy is both transformed and transferred. Such changes in energy occur continuously in a living cell. It is a continuous process which does not stop. Then we see exchange of matter. There are certain laws which point towards the exchange of matter. Some of these we have studied also in chemistry. There are laws of thermodynamics. In the living world, all energy transformations are governed by two laws of thermodynamics. Law of thermodynamics number 1 is law of conservation of energy. This law asserts that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be transferred from one place to another or can be transformed from one form to another. In generalization, we can say that total amount of energy in any closed system is constant. We see that in the first law of thermodynamics, we see in living organisms the energy is transferred from food we take into the energy that we get in us through metabolism, and then that energy is utilized by us for various activities and body growth and other functions of the body, movements of the body. And again, this energy is lost, but we continuously get more energy from food. Now we see the second law of thermodynamics, which states that no system is 100% efficient. You can take the example of a ball. When we throw a ball, then due to friction, the rolling ball comes to a stop at one place. So we see that this rolling of the ball on the road or on a rough surface comes to an end because no system is 100% efficient. We see in transformation, energy tends to become increasingly unavailable for useful work. In transformation or energy change, energy tends to become increasingly unavailable for useful work. Or we can also say, what is second law of thermodynamics? We can also say that there is a tendency in nature for systems to move to states of increasing disorder or randomness. So, what is disorder or randomness? This is given or explained by a term known as entropy. Entropy is a term which refers to as disorder or randomness of a system. We can also say, or we can also define entropy. Entropy is a measure of unavailability of energy for useful work. So availability of free energy minimizes entropy. We see that in biological systems, an increasing degree of entropy leads to death of a cell or organisms unless the loss is made up. The loss is made up through the input of free energy or usable energy. The free energy minimizes the law of entropy or disorder. We can see a high energy area is there, and when the energy flows from high energy level to low energy level, some of the energy is lost. We see here in cells, in molecular movements of gases or particles, when the particles or the molecules of gases they collide with each other, this creates a disorder or entropy. So we can say that entropy is a term which refers to as disorder or randomness. Then let us look at two reactions that are found in the biological systems. Two reactions, one is exergonic reactions and the other is endergonic reaction. What are exergonic reactions, children? Those reactions which result in the release of free energy. What are exergonic reactions? These are reactions which result in the release of free energy. We can see this example in the living world or in the living organisms. There is breakdown of complex molecules into simpler molecules which can be utilized by our body. Like starch is broken into sugars, or glucose that can be easily digested by our body. Then we come to endergonic reactions. These are those reactions that involve a change from lower energy state to a higher energy state. This is the opposite of exergonic reactions. In endergonic reactions, we see that they involve a change from lower energy state to a higher energy state. Example, free energy is liberated, which is stored in high energy bonds of adenosine triphosphate molecules, and by breaking them we can provide energy. Now let us come to what open system is. It is such a system which has continuous inflow of energy directly or indirectly, and this is called an open system. For example, an organism gets energy from matter, which can be food, which can be water, and this energy is continuous. It is a free supply to the organism. So this is an open system. But in closed system, it is a system which has no exchange of matter with surroundings, is referred to as a closed system. Now, what is steady state? What is steady state? An open system is also said to be a steady state. We saw that the open system has continuous inflow of energy directly or indirectly, and so an open system shows steady state or steady flow of energy, as the input of energy and matter are balanced by the output of energy and matter. We see here in this diagram that there is an inflow of energy and there's an input of energy in direct form and in glucose form. Glucose is a matter, and this energy which is input into an organism is utilized for various cellular processes in our body to do work, and this then transforms this form of energy into output energy, which is utilized as heat in the form of chemical bonds, and in waste matter this energy is given out. Also this energy is given out by breaking down of glucose and releasing carbon dioxide and water when we respire. So we see that in a steady state system, there is an open system of flow of energy. So an open system is also said to be in steady state, as the input of energy and matter are balanced by the output of energy and matter. For example, a living organism to maintain itself must continuously receive energy and a variety of materials from the environment. It also recycles back these materials to the environment in the form of heat, in the form of feces, in the form of sweat and other compounds. Now let us come to what hemostasis is. Although this concept of hemostasis was first given by Claude Bernard, who survived between 1813 to 1878, he is known as the father of the concept of hemostasis or steady state. But very importantly, children, you must memorize this, that Walter Buchanan in 1932 was the first to use the term hemostasis, and he added new meaning to the word or the term hemostasis. Now, what is hemostasis? We see that living steady state has a self-regulatory mechanism. Such a self-regulatory system is said to be in a state of hemostasis. So we can define hemostasis as, what is the definition, children? It is the ability of an organism to be able to make adjustments so that its internal environment remains relatively constant despite changes in the external environment. Again, let us repeat this definition. It is the ability of an organism to be able to make adjustments so that its internal environment remains relatively constant despite changes in the external environment. Let's give an example to understand this better. When we enter a darkened cinema hall and we are coming inside from bright light, we are unable to see at first for a few seconds. However, within those few seconds, rhodopsin, a photopigment inside our eyes, is used by rods of the eye which help to see in darkness or dim light. So we see that how our eyes show hemostasis and they bring our sight ability back when we come from light into darkness or vice versa. So children, in this video we will conclude here, and in the next video we will study more about hemostasis and negative and forward feedback systems and living organisms, etc. Till then, wish you all the best. Have a good day.